Hey everybody and welcome. Today I would like to create a spread in this landscape art journal, and I started using it just to create these pages. I think I talked in this video a little bit more about that. I think I might also have uploaded a video for that one, and this is the first page. I primarily bought this to use it as a sketchbook, but I didn't enjoy the paper in it because it does not really work with watercolor markers because it soaks up everything quite quickly. And the reason I'm using it, that's the reason why I'm using it now, just for an art journal. It's also not the best paper for distress ink, but I don't want to let this paper sit in my drawer forever, so I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it just to play. And I'm starting with this stencil. There is already some color on it, I think from the previous journal page, that one. And I don't want to clean it, I will just keep that, and I go on top with the Forest Moss Distress ink. I really like that purple together with that. And I'm spritzing that with a good amount of water. And then I'm pressing that onto my page. I use a paper roll. You can just use a normal paper towel just to soak up the ink. I like that stencil background. I think it's so versatile and so lovely. I will add a little bit more here, just spritz it with more water and then press it down in this corner. And I'm also mixing the edges with water, blend that out a bit so there is not a straight edge, and you know what I mean, I think. What I really like to experiment with is this technique I shared, I think already in another video, just scribbling with the distress crayon into the wet area, and then you can move it around a bit and create some really lovely chunky and messy textures. That works only if you have a wet area, otherwise it will not be, it won't give you the same effect. I really like to bring that in. I plan to add another layer with a different color, with a different stencil, I think. Or maybe just with some a piece of acetate without any texture, just to bring in a little bit of a different color instead of the white. It's almost dry now completely, and I'm going in with the wild honey, and I think I just use a piece of plastic. I kept these are from the pencil crayons from Tim Holtz, the watercolor pencils, and they are quite heavyweight, so they are not flimsy, and I use these just to apply ink with a watercolory effect to a background. I think that's already enough, and I'm doing the same again. I use the wet areas and blend in a bit of the Distress Crayon. That's the black soot, by the way. I really like to do this with black because it's that gives the grungy texture matches the grungy color. I really like that there are some spots with other colors because of the dirty stencil I've used. It's similar to jelly printing. I really like when I have some leftover paint on the jelly plate, which then goes onto the next print and gives you just the surprising effect. I'm going to let that dry or just heat set it, and then I will be back. We will see what we are adding to that page. Okay, it's me back again. The page is dry and I found something that I really would like to add to that page. I found this piece that was left from my last art journaling video, and I think it's perfect to put that to the corner and then add this over the top as a focal element. That's one of my 100-day project collage ephemera pieces. I think there's no tutorial for this one available. It's made with a jelly print, a stamp from the doodle flowers, stamp from our butterflies and moth, and of course it has this little envelope in the pocket. And the only thing I'm missing then on the background is some color that matches this background. And that is the vintage photo. That's not vintage photo, but it's quite similar, I would say. So I'm just using that in the same way I've applied the wild honey. And I'm going to add this color just to the background. You can drag the ink a little bit with that acetate tool. I think that's quite nice, and maybe we can add, bringing that, that brown tone with the rusty hinge a bit, in the same way that I've used the black soot previously. It doesn't have the same effect because it's almost the same color. I don't want to overwork it, so I will just leave this as it is, and then it's not wet down here, so I can glue this down already whilst that is drying. And I think before I adhere this one, I'm going to stamp something to the background, and maybe I also search for a piece of paper to add that here as a collage image, just to frame that focal point, maybe. I try to use the glue stick to adhere this. Unfortunately, my Tombow glue stick is empty, and I'm using the one from Craftelier. I hope it works as good as the Tombow. Oh my god, but I'm not sure it does. It dries much quicker than the Tombow, and also when you use it with a normal paper, it's buckling a bit. With the Tombow, your paper will not buckle. But what I like about this, it's better than a Yuho or Brit, because it does not give you so much glue onto the backside of your papers. I really like how this layers on top, because you can still see the texture. And I think I'm going to use a similar paper for that framing I told you, or I mentioned. Just add something similar like this. Let's see if I have something left. I don't think so. Oh, or maybe I'm adding this. It's quite a busy background, but it has that pinkish color on it. And also the pink that is here. So maybe I would just try that. As we are covering up that purple, I have here, maybe I should add a different image. No, I think that's too much. Maybe I should not add this as my focal image. Maybe I should do something completely different. By the way, that texture is made with watercolor, and that paper, that old book paper, has kind of a resist on top, and that made it really hard to paint it with watercolor, and I rubbed really hard with the brush to get that down, but that gave me that lovely texture. It's always interesting to experiment with different book pages. I really like that. I think I have to pick another focal point. Maybe I'm just going to use a single image. No. Instead of that collage ephemera piece, I picked just something simple and something bold, like that leaf from the pencil marks here. It's very bold because of the dark black, and that might be nice because it pops up from the background. And then I'm going to add a little bit of more darker stamping to the background to just pick that black up again. If that makes sense, I don't know. Sometimes it's really hard to finish up an art journal page. I just go through these images to see if there is something that's matching my color scheme. I think that's almost the perfect image because it's so dark and intense. Maybe that's better. Yeah. Maybe this is a bit better, or the pink one. These are embossed with black powder, that's why they are so glossy. Maybe that pink. But then I have to add something pink on top here. Oh my gosh, that's a really hard decision today, and yeah. Let's see. I think let's think about the pink one. We need definitely a pink color, and I'm going to use a worn lipstick, but I use it in the Oxide version because it's more opaque. And then I'm going to add a little bit to the top here. The Oxides layer a bit better. They are more opaque. Well, the Distress inks don't layer at all, whilst the Oxides do. Yeah, but it's very dark, and you can see how the vintage photo messed into that color. but we will see the effect once it's dry, because the Distress Oxides have this this hybrid pigment, and the white will come up to the top once it's dry. I'm going to bring it in here because it's a lighter area. I hope it will be more visible. Yeah, that's quite nice. I think I like that background now. It's really, it's a bit messy, but I think it's really interesting. I'm going to add that leaf in any kind, not sure how or where, maybe like that. I think that's how I've done it before. And add the tinier element here. I think I lost it now. Maybe I'm going to use this because it has also that purple on itself. Yes, I think I'm going with this. I will let that dry, and once it's dry I will do a little bit of stamping, and then we're going to adhere the focal images and also a sentiment or a title. My page is dry, and I would like to stamp this texture here to the right edge of the page. And I'm using an image from the Pencil Marks number 4 Stencil, and as I'm working on a watercolor paper, which maybe would be better to lay this underneath to get a better stamp impression. Watercolor paper is always a bit tricky to stamp directly. That worked out quite lovely. And not sure if I should add one more, maybe in this direction, and these two maybe overlapping. Yeah, I will take the risk and do this, no matter if I like it in the end or not. I really like it. I always lose my bits and pieces of paper. Going to add that here, and this little element to the top, a bit higher, or maybe I should use that one. No, I will take this. Or maybe I will add it like that. Yeah, no, like so. I think I need a little bit more black, but I don't want to overdo it. And what I also want to add is something. No, I thought about adding something white here to lighten that and bring it in as a white space. But I'm not sure if this would be the best decision. It's quite a busy page. I really would like to have a bold strip of paper here with that texture in. This pink here. Oh, yeah, maybe some of that washi tape. Yeah, that's good. That's what I love. That washi tape, and just glue a piece of that directly to the page. maybe in this direction, maybe a little bit like so. I think that's what I'm going to do. I haven't used them for a while, these washi tapes. There are 2 video tutorials available on my channel where I'm making these, so check them out. I will hopefully not forget to link them. It is a water activative tape, a gummed paper tape, and it's printed with a jelly plate, and then I've stamped on it. I think that's really nice, and maybe instead of this busy paper, I'm going to use that. Yes. And maybe even a bit more. Why not? Let's see. Maybe a bit here. Yes. I really like it. Happy that I thought about the washi tape. I definitely should use it more often, and now I'm going over that. But I don't mind. I usually just do what looks good to me in the end, and that's what I really like. And maybe I could add a tiny bit of something here, because it's such a squarish shape. Maybe just a little bit, just a little tiny bit of this, or maybe a piece that's a bit longer. Oh, or just a piece where there is no writing. Yeah, that's it. And I think I like that. The washi tape is great because it works quite quickly. You only have to wet the back side, and then the glue gets activated, and then you can stick it down. I also used that to decorate some cardboard boxes. I just went over it's still a bit wet here. I hope that the glue keeps in place, stays in place. I decorated some cardboard boxes with these washi tapes, which worked out so nicely and so quickly. And if you, for example, from your mobile phone, they always come, or they came, I'm not sure if they still do, they came in these nice square rectangle boxes, and these are perfect to then use as a storage container, and I decorated them with the washi tapes. I really like it. And now I have to search for a sentiment that I can put down here, and I will not do this on camera because I have to search for it and I don't want to put the camera on again. So I will search for it, put it down, take some photos, and now I'm going to add the photo for you. Don't forget to jump over to the blog to see close-up images, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video, and we will see us next time. Bye!